Hey there, welcome to this video. It's been a while since I've done a video. This is Renfroe here with you, and I'm out in my kind of favorite spot in the woods to do these videos. So here I am. It's been a while because I've not really had anything solid on my mind to share, and I wanted to, connect, and I kind of got different things my heart and mind and stuff, but just to get that kind of together, like what would be a topic, what would be a subject, how is it going to go? I didn't know, but I wanted to, and I finally got me some moments, and I got some notes kind of to go by too, but rightfully, honestly, I did not have those notes only about 15 minutes ago. I was just laying down, put my little one down, and I was thinking of it, and and praying about what exactly I'm going to talk about. Is a certain verse or something I can share at least, and kind of go from there, a specific thing. And then I did have some thoughts come together, so copy and pasted some verses and put some things together. So I'll get to those on there, but I'm just gonna kind of see how this goes. Sometimes you can have a lot on your mind you want to share and you want to talk about, but to put that together, and then like, what is the title of this video going to be? I don't know. I still don't know what the title's going to be. It's hard when it's like all over the place and on different things. But welcome to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm glad you're here, and just welcome back otherwise. And you can kind of see more about my stuff and what I do over my website blog, mayrenfroe.com. And because I kind of do a variety of things that do just give hope and encouragement for those going through hard times, or I talk about my faith and about parenting, homeschooling, a variety of things for wives and mothers and women and stuff. So I'm excited to share what I'm going to talk about this time. All right, so I'm not sure really where I want to start, but some of the things that's been on my mind is lately just, the things you're hearing in the news, with the COVID stuff still, and the vaccine and the push for the vaccine and all these mandates. And it's just so sad when you hear in different countries how they're pushing it so forcefully. And then even in, our country, I'm here in the United States, but in Canada, and they're pushing it so much, people are having to lose jobs over it and everything. And I feel really bad for the people that are losing jobs, but I'm also glad that they're making that stand. They're not just falling for this. And so that's just always kind of my mind, like, how far is this going to go before it comes to an end, before things are revealed about the kind of more the truth behind it? How far are they going to go with this, and how far is God going to let it go? I feel like we are getting definitely closer to the end, and I know I've talked about that quite a bit in other videos, so maybe this is another vein of it, so don't think that I'm just repeating myself. But kind of that, and then just like wondering, what more should we be doing in the end times? How should we be living differently? What should our focus be more? And wanting to make others aware of it, because I can feel that I'm quite aware, and I know some people that are, and then some wonder, do they realize kind of the days we're living through? Do they realize what's going on? They seem like they're just carrying on all of the things and the schedules and everything they've always done, and yet we're approaching something a little different. We're getting closer to the end, and so that's kind of what I want to talk about. One thing that's really being shared a lot on Facebook is a picture of that new sculpture, the thing that the United Nations has put up, and they say it represents peace and safety. And a lot of the descriptions of it sounds quite similar to some verses in both Revelations and Daniel. And so people are sharing that picture of the sculpture and sharing these verses that go with it. So that's kind of interesting. It's like, okay, so here is something that sounds like an image that was really talked about for the end times. So I got these two verses here. I want to read that. Revelations 3:2 says, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth was as of the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority." And then Daniel 7:4-5, "The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said on thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh." Wow, sounds kind of wild, crazy thing. But this sculpture that is the United Nations has just set up is kind of like that, was like a a leopard with, or it's like a lion with eagle's wings, and it's just this wild looking thing. You could look that up and Google it, and I mean, it's all over there, so I'm sure you've seen it. But it's supposed to represent peace and safety. I'm like, whoa, peace and safety, that only comes from God, you know. And there's a verse that says, 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then so sudden destruction cometh on them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So here's this image now that's supposed to be in peace and safety, and this verse says, when they shall say peace and safety, then shall sudden destruction. So just like, wow, I mean, how close are we to that? Or do they need, someone's going to declare peace and safety? Or is this thing saying that it's peace and safety, so now the sudden destruction is going to happen? I don't know. You know, it's just that we are, that's where we're at, I think, in this time. And so I'm going to be just very prayerful about it, and not living in fear by no means, because we know who's in control, God, and he has said these things would happen. He gave us that, you know, preparing us, warning us, and letting us know. Matthew 24 is a great chapter about the end times, and in 1 Thessalonians 4 and 5 is as well. Just really good chapters that talk about the end times and kind of let us know the things that's going to happen, the tribulation and destruction and the turmoil, and, you know, and there's supposed to be also wars and rumors of wars in the end times. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, I think that you know, what does God want us to be about at this time? Where does he want us to have, you know, our ambitions and our time, our energy, our money going at this time? And I think we need to be letting people know about the days we live in, and so that we can all have that readiness and ready for the Lord for whenever he might come. And I have some verses I want to read in Matthew 24:33 through 39. So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. So it's already talking about some stuff at the end time, so you would want to read that. So it's when you see those things happening, know that it's near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark, and they knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of Son of Man be. That's in Matthew 24, verses 33 to 39. So they were going to be just carrying on, just doing whatever, not realizing what was to happen. In some of where I've looked up these verses, the kind of commentary on that was saying, you know, as the people were in Noah's day, were leading normal lives day after day. Everyone was doing what people do, eating and drinking, getting married and giving children in marriage. They did not realize that the absolute catastrophe was upon them until it was there. By the time they recognized what was happening, it was far too late. And Jesus said that's what it's going to be like in the second coming, in his coming, that things would be going similar in the same way, like a normal life, and that it would not be paused or anything, and everyone would just be going about their lives like that life is going to keep on carrying on, right? So just like they were in the days of Noah, and it took them off guard, that's kind of what's going to be happening, but that's not the way it should be. So he's letting us know that's not the way it should be. He's let us know what's going to be coming, and we need to be always ready. You know, no one knows the precise time that he's going to return. Only God the Father knows when it will happen, and everyone will be caught by surprise at the sudden appearing of those signs, just as the people swept away in Noah's flood. Jesus' followers must live in constant readiness for his return. And Jesus used different parables. I don't know if it's just in that chapter, but they're talking about about the end time and his coming. So he used different parables concerning that. But yeah, so I just think we need to be ready, letting others know, and that's kind of why I'm sharing this, and why I wanted to say, what am I going to talk about? Well, I think this is what is happening right now. This is what I want to talk about. Just that let's keep looking up to God and looking into His Scripture, and so we know know what's coming and be prepared and being preparing others and making sure, we're doing our part to spread the gospel and have that hope, because we can maybe know where we're going when this world is over and our time is up. But we probably know other people that don't know, and so we need that don't have that same hope and that same reassurance. Then when this world is over, they know where they're going, and so we can to bring that and be that, and to make sure that we're equipping and helping other people prepare for what we know is coming. All right, I have a couple more verses I wanted to read, and then I'll talk about that. And so this video is not, something about details of happenings, really, of the end times that much. I mean, it's not. I shared some things, but it's not in detail. And if there's a lot of things out there that's good on the end times. There was this video that was sent to me that I didn't end up watching yet, but I guess we talked about that sculpture, the United Nations, and just kind of dug into, I guess, the description stuff that talks about that in of the end time prophecy and all that. And so that would have been good. Probably I should have watched it that someone sent to me, but so what I'm just sharing, just a few things, just slightly, just things that's kind of been on my mind. And yeah, I have a couple more verses I'd like to read on that. It says, knowing, this is in 2 Peter 3:3-7, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is that promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all of these things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the waters and in the water. Hereby the world then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. And then James 4:13-17, go to now, ye that say, today or tomorrow we will go into such a city, and continue there a year, and buy and sell, and get gain, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time, and then vanishes away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord's will, we shall live, and do this or that. But now you rejoice in your boastings, and all such rejoicing is evil. Therefore to him that knoweth to do good, and doeth it not, to him is sin. Wow. So the first set verses in 2 Peter, is saying that there shall come in the last days scoffers, and walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? And and it sounds like they're thinking that he's not coming, that he's not keeping his promise, but they're just kind of carrying on as just whatever. We're just doing our thing, and not paying attention to the time of the days. And then in James 4:13-17 is really letting us know, you're not to boast. We don't never know what a day's going to hold. We don't know what tomorrow's going to hold. If it's the Lord's will, we will do this or that. We don't know what we have for time, but just make the most of it. That's what I really just want to encourage all of us, just to make sure that we're making the most of our time for God, and just getting in his word more, and making sure we're teaching that diligently to our children. And so, helping them grow in their faith, and making sure they know the scripture, and kind of know why we believe what we believe, and just so making them strong, helping them be strong, ready to stand in the tough times near the end, when it's going to get bad. We don't know what all it's going to unfold in the end, but especially with their agenda, thing, it seems like for the vaccine, how they're pushing it so badly and all this, when we can tell, there's still a lot of cases that they're getting COVID even with a vaccine. It's not helping prevent the COVID. They're still getting, it's still spreading. They're still getting it, and people are dying from the vaccine. So it's and they keep pushing it and keep pushing it. So it's hard to wonder, what all that is. But we just got to keep looking up to God, and know that, that he knows, and that he's kind of just letting the world do its thing, wrapping up to the end. He said if it was shortened his time for the very elect's sake, or sounds like there wouldn't hardly be any people left in the end, that they were going to destroy themselves for all the craziness and the nonsense, and what they're doing, greed in the world, and the world's plan, because it's just not going to prosper. When we don't follow God's plan, what He has for us and the way He's intended us to live, it's never going to work, right? So, all right. Well, I guess I'll close this one for now, and I'll try to do these more often when I have time or I have things I want to share. And yeah, I just want to keep giving hope and encouragement. And my book, Holding On to Hope, is available. So that's what I've been talking about most of my videos, was my book, because I've really been, trying to promote it now that I wrote it and put all that time and all that energy. I mean, it was a lot of work for me, and just all my time was spent. I got to work on my book, But now that that's done, I really want to try to promote it, because I have a lot of good stuff in there. It's the story of the loss of our son in a four-wheeler accident in 2017, and there's 4 years since that I was blogging on my blog about that journey and just things I was going through, and kind of just pour out, my feelings. So it's like on my blog, it was like a journal, pouring out what I was going through and giving hope for someone else that might be going through the similar thing or other things in life, and just saying, so I'm feeling this, what I'm going through, but here is some hope for you, in your situation, and encouragement. And I'd share verses that would go within quotes. And so that's what's in that book. And so it's like a book of hope is what I call it. So I really feel like He speak into a lot of people's, situations and stories and whatever they're going through, and just to draw us closer to God. So that's what I all through. It's like in drawing you to that closer, intimate relationship with God, where we all experience that hope and that peace in the midst of our storms, right? In the midst of it, that we can have that assurance that God has not forgot us, that God is still there, He's still in charge, that He has a plan and a purpose of things that He has allowed, and that we just got to keep clinging to Him and knowing that that He's going to work out His goodwill in our lives, and that it's for our good and His glory. And sometimes these things, they don't look good, but they bring about going to be a lot of good in someone else's life when we reach out to others, with that hope and encouragement, and be a blessing to someone else. We share our story. We never know, how it can empower someone else in their lives and give them energy and give them hope. And like, wow, you got through that, and that, it gives them, that inspiration, and knowing that they can have that too, and get through that too. And so, yeah, if that sounds like something that you would like, you'd benefit from, if you go to my website, Renfroe.com, you can order it there. Or if it's not for a friend, please tell a friend. I really want to get that out there. I really want to get people to be able to read that book. And then I've been on a couple of podcasts. One is available now. It was available from Mess to Miracle podcast. It came out, I don't know the episode number, but it was December 9th is that episode. That's my story, and they're holding on to hope, talking about our story in my book. So I think you'd be blessed, a bit encouraged to listen to that. You can go listen to that now. And yeah, as always, I just look for opportunities that I can share my hope, my faith that I have, and to draw women closer to God. And so if you know of any, if you would like me to come share anything, your ladies group, or if you're in my area, I would sure love that opportunity. And remember to check out my website and blog, and you can order the books there if you would like.